Hello and welcome to Blue Garden Cottage. Lovely to have you along. Look, Buttons is entertaining. Now she stops. Okay, there she goes again. Thanks, Buttons. That's really good. We've had our laugh now. No, you're not done. Well, as you can see, I've been moving furniture around, bookcases and the tail leaf stand, because obviously we've opened up the fireplace, and it was a very, very, very mucky job. I've got a few photographs. I'll put stuff up on Facebook and maybe do a carousel later on when the job is finished. But needless to say, even covering all of that station and the tail leaf station completely with big sheets, dust still was everywhere, and it was time to get dust sorted, so everything had to move. All the books and everything come off the shelves, the whole lot, absolutely everything had to be dusted and moved, because that hearth, it goes the other way around, once we put it inside there, we needed another extra 10 centimeters of space, so we didn't have to cut it. And I don't want to cut it. We don't have a still saw, and especially not one that works with water, because you need a water still saw to do that. So thankfully I was able to move the furniture along. We have the extra 10 centimeters for the hearth to go in without any problems, without any cutting. And that'll be a lovely job when it's finished. That board we've just put there to cover up the hole for now until we're done. We fixed up the great big hole in the wall where the pipes came through from the little boiler, which we've taken out, tidied up, bricked back up. Needs to be plastered again on the inside, on the back. The wall has to be plastered on the outside again, because it was quite damaged, and we had to take the old lintel out because that was absolutely wrecked. And we discovered that just behind where the wall is, there's the original lintel still in there and still fine, so we don't have to get a new lintel. The original is still there, so that's good. Saved on that, so that's exciting. Can't wait for that to be done by winter. And of course that job has led to the complete ruination of the rug or carpet or whatever. It's completely ruined. That is soot and dust from the concrete, and that will never come out. It's staying there though until the job is done, and once it is, hopefully before winter, we'll have new flooring. We'll have to. It'll be too cold without flooring in here, at least, even if it is just a carpet without underlay. We'll get rid of that as soon as the job's done on the fireplace, and we'll do something with the floor. I have no idea what. But yeah, it's been good. It feels nice to have a tidy room again for a change. Yep. And of course, my messy corner with my writing for my book. There's a folder with some of it in. This is just the first section, intro and first section, that I've been working on. Had to rewrite it a couple of times, and every time I do, the whole mood of everything now just seems to make me feel I need to rewrite it again. But I have to get to a point where I know I'm not changing anything. It's where it needs to be, and I need to get on with transcribing it and formatting it, getting it ready to publish. It is important to get it done, especially since no matter what happens this year, we still want to be able to continue on our journey to self-reliance. I'll read, when I feel it's at the right stage, I'll read some of it to you. But for now, the garden is growing, leaves are coming up on everything, flowers are flowering. Look at the tulips there, and the hyacinths and the primroses, and that rhubarb. I just had some today actually. I'm going to walk you through my mess. Stuff to go upstairs from the laundry. Dishes to be put away. Jars to be cleaned of their glue from the labels. I am so grateful for this water filter, because it makes it possible for me to do the ferments. This is the water kefir I started. Remember I told you about that? The grains are finally growing They're looking pretty good in there, and I'm really happy with that. In our house, it's taking around 48 hours to make the water kefir, and then it gets drained off into another jar. So we keep the grains separate, drained off into another jar with another teaspoon of sugar added and some fruit to ferment a bit more to make some water kefir soda. It's a fizzy cold drink, and I don't leave that more than 30 hours, and then it just gets a very mild fizz, but even less alcohol than a vanilla essence. It's just like a ginger beer, but no alcohol in there. You can't even, somebody measured it and there's just none in there. So it's great, as long as you don't leave it more than 48 hours and it's just a soda. And to be honest, we'd have that with our dinner. We're used to it now, so we could afford to have a small little glass like soda, like cold drink with our dinner, and that's fine. I've also been using my sourdough starter a lot. I've just fed it not even an hour ago, and there's already starting to be bubbles. It's already starting to feed. You can see some bubbles coming up, and that's my rye wheat flour sourdough starter. Hairbands, so handy, and these little muslin face cloths. There, so that's that done. There's some of my homegrown marjoram that I've dried, and I've just done that, so I'm going to put that in another jar to put away. Jams I found in the store cupboard when clearing, I have to use them up. And here are some of my sourdough bread for today in there. I usually make one loaf at least a week. This week I've made a second. The first one has lasted 4 days, so hopefully this will last until next week. By about Monday I'll have to make another one, and it makes me really grateful. With everything that's going on, there's just people are panic buying and stripping the shelves of absolutely everything. No matter where you go, it's all over the world. We see it both in Europe and in South Africa and UK, Europe, America, everywhere. People are just panic buying and don't know why, and even the craziest stuff. And what worries me is that people are not going to know what they're doing with their food that they've hoarded. Some of it's going to go off, most of it's going to end up in the bin, because they're going to realize that they were panic buying and don't know what they're doing with it. So it's very difficult now to get stuff, and I'm really, really, really grateful for a food storage cupboard. It's been very helpful. So I don't have to stress and I don't have to worry as much. I still had to help extended family sort out their storage and make sure that they've got what they needed, because it looks like now we are almost all going to face a bit of a lockdown. Some people are still self-isolating, but I think there will be a bit more enforced isolations coming soon, because most people are still carrying on as usual. So with that in mind, I am very grateful that I have heeded the counsel for years and years now to keep a food storage, even if it's not a very long food storage. It's not long term, it's maximum of 3 months. Some things I might have more, but I'm really grateful for doing what I can, and even a week's worth can buy you some peace of mind. So I'm really grateful for following that and being able to share with family and friends and neighbours if needed. And it makes me grateful for a garden, because even though most stuff, there's the lamb's lettuce is ready for harvesting now, the chives are harvesting, there's dandelion leaves, there are things all about. Even the rocket is sprouting back into leaf again. I still have some leeks from the autumn. There are things that we could still harvest from the garden even before the spring properly throws out its new growth. It's that bit of spring where the winter foods have been used up and the summer foods are not quite in yet. So, it's a bit too cold yet to get the salad stuff going unless we do. And I don't have a greenhouse. My potting shed is not good enough yet. I do have the catmint, so I can still do some catmint tea. Some mint tea is still growing there, not quite ready yet. Campanula, I can pick the flowers off that. I just bought that yesterday. I didn't have much success with the last one. So the campanula, the flowers are edible. I've got mashua growing again, and the leaves can be eaten from that for salads. There is still some of the spinach, chard and beetroot from last year, so I can still harvest those leaves for salad. They're still good. More herbs, some lemon balm and thyme there. The red cabbage, even if they bolt, I could still use these young leaves for salad. And then the flowers are edible too. So there's always something we can. I mean, look at this. By my gladioli in the compost, because I cold compost. These are a brassica. Looks like kale. It certainly does look like a kale. So I could just pick that part of salad, or I could let it go on, pot it on and keep it. This is a vetch, I think. So I'll take that out, but put it in the compost bin. You know, there's always something. Even nasturtiums. I have nasturtiums that have been growing since January, February, because they're undercover here. So even those can still be harvested for salads. Herb Robert, that is a fantastic bit. I put a little bit of the leaves, just a little bit of leaves, in with the smoothies. There are still nasturtium leaves. They're tiny. They'll still be good for salad if you like something spicy and peppery. To me, I use them sparingly because they're mustardy, and I am not a mustard fan. No. See, the bay is perennial and evergreen, and I can still use that. The kale is now gone to seed. I can pick off the bits that have gone to starting to set flower, and all the smaller leaves. I can still use them. I can still use those in salads and cooking. See, there's more beetroot leaves there from last year. I still use that for leaves, for salad. There's the tree kale garden and the celery. I can use celery leaves. There's still something in the garden. These are new leeks that are coming up. They're not coming up there. I put them in there in the autumn, and I can just leave them to go. Hopefully they won't bolt. But there's always something. And the roses will be flowering soon. That's lovely. The petals can be eaten. That'll be good. Oh, look at the kiwi. The Arctic kiwi is in full leaf now. New leaves coming on the passion fruit. There's always something. And it's a perfect time of year to get planning on your garden space, whether that's a windowsill for sprouting salads and seeds or herbs. You can do that. Or whether you have a garden, whatever size it is. Whether you have a paved courtyard where you can put potted plants and towers and things to grow in. Think about how you can use your space. It's not going to feed you right now, but if you get some salads planted, if you've got a windowsill or a little greenhouse or something like that, or even a conservatory, you can get some salads started and some microgreens you can do all the way through the year. So I'll encourage you, everyone. Take heart, take courage. The schools are now closed. Tomorrow, Friday, so that the children will have an extended Easter holiday, with talk of maybe the children not going back till the beginning of the next academic year in September. Oh, I can see the blueberries over there have got flowers on them. The last of the cherries blossoms are coming up, dying off now. Hopefully we'll get some fruit this year. Yes, people are now, instead of panic buying food, people are panic buying stuff to do with the children at home for activities and things, because they're not facing months with the children at home and absolutely nothing to do. So everybody's stocking up on arts and crafts and educational stuff and snacks and batteries for consoles. And yes, we might just remember what it's like to have fun, because we're having to entertain the children more. But I'll spare a thought for those children who might not have such resourceful and happy homes. To some of them, school might be an escape. some children, the most vulnerable in society, and those of key jobs that are essential, their children are still allowed to stay in school, but everybody else will be effectively homeschooled for a couple of months, with lots of opportunity to have fun learning together. Looking forward to having my grandson visit a bit more. Oh, he will be learning lots. Oh, and look, the chives have got tiny little flower heads on them. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see it from it. Just there. But yeah, chives have got flower heads coming, so they'll be edible, colourful bits to add to salads too. There we are. Looking forward to get stuck into a few more projects that we want finished. This was very tidy, had tidied up, and I've been working since, so I need to do a tidy up every month, I think. But the promise of finer weather is here. Tomorrow should be drier, and next week promises to have clouds with interspersed sunshine, but it doesn't mention much rain. So I have closed the tap on the water butt and kept that water butt full. The others are full because just in case I need watering of seeds, I can still do that. Clothes horse totally in handy, bird food ready for the birds, and they're enjoying our garden. My houtunia growing, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you, June. Those two survived. Yacon ready to go in a bigger pot. That won't go out until the end of May almost. But these guys can go out in April as soon as we have more fair days. The thyme, I keep forgetting it up there. I'm going to have to water that. But there you go. Even having an old crock pot from an old-fashioned slow cooker to put the potatoes in and cover them is a way of preventing your food from wasting. And of course, these fresh stuff we use so often that it's not going to spoil before I get to use it, because we use it practically every day. So that's the one thing I think we'll struggle with if shops close, is the fresh greens, because we don't have many of them in the garden. It's all right to have stored stuff, but I like fresh greens. I still have frozen stuff in the freezer, but it's not the same, is it? But like I said, I'll just get more seed sprouting and microgreens and salads going to make up for that. I've still got kale in the garden. Even in the front I've got some edibles. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you a catch up on what's been going on here, how grateful I am for people on YouTube, other channels that have been so inspiring to me to find ways of doing what I've always learned for years from both church and from family, from childhood and my parents and grandparents and the things they used to do way back when. I'm so grateful for all those experiences and those memories. And then, like I said, the people I've learned from on YouTube on how to preserve and store food for rainy days just like this. And I'm so grateful that I wasn't one of those who said, yeah, it'll never happen. We don't live in those kinds of times anymore. And well, who'd have thought? We haven't even seen Brexit yet. So, my lovelies, whatever the circumstances, there's always something new we can learn, something we can do towards buying ourselves a bit of peace of mind. Here's wishing you a happy rest of the day and week until I speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.